audio. Video, I don't think it's got audio yet.
There he is. Oh.
He's there. Are you with us, Josh? Okay, there you are. Good man. All right, good evening, everyone. I'll call the meeting for Wednesday, April 14th, to order at 5:15 p.m. On this end, we will rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with justice. All right, we have with us. Today's our first regular session. It seems like he's already been in harness. We've been to 3 meetings at least that I know of. So, Josh, as this is our first regular meeting, again, welcome aboard. We're very pleased to have you here. We look forward, all of us, to working with you. And we'll start off tonight's meeting with that and move on forward. So, welcome, Josh.
So, Chairman, just a reminder, folks, if you could mute your phones on your end when you're not speaking. We're getting a little feedback.
Mr. Zerlo, would you please conduct a roll call?
Certainly. Mr. Castine.
Present.
Mr. Conroy. Mr. Hall.
Here.
Mr. Henry.
Here.
Mr. Hughes.
Here.
Mr. Kretzer.
Here.
Mr. Perrier.
Here.
Mr. Potiker.
Here.
Mr. Timmons.
Here.
Ms. Waldron.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum. All legislators have received a copy of the stenographer's minutes of the March 24th, 2021 regular session. If there are no deletions, additions, or corrections, I will entertain a motion to accept the motions as the minutes as presented. May I have a motion? I have a motion by Simon, second by Mr. Perrier, Legislator Perrier. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. This evening, with our virtual format, we will not have public comment. However, members of the public are welcome to express their concerns or comments by emailing us at legislature@clintoncountygov.com. That's legislature@clintoncountygov.com. And now, Mr. Cutter, Glenn Cutter, is with us from the Planning Board, and he's going to give us a brief briefing on the legislature's future redistricting plans. So, Mr. Cutter.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So basically, once every 10 years, the census is done at the federal level, and that is the only time that we receive data that can be broken up by block. So we can, that's the data that we're required to use for redistricting. And we haven't done a redistricting since 2012. And that was done because of the 2010 census. So at this point, we're waiting for census data, which should have, normally you would have received that by now, but we have been informed by the U.S. Census that that data will be delayed until probably September 30th. But in the meantime, what we're trying to do is get ready for the redistricting. So part of it is just to explain what that is involved. We try to set up each legislative area to have a fairly equal number of people. And so, for example, if there's 80,000 people in the county and we have 10 districts, each should have about 8,000. We're allowed to go 5% above or below that average number for each district, which we've had to do before. And one of the reasons we do that is because the district boundaries should be fairly easy to find or figure out where they are. And they're supposed to be compact areas that are all contiguous to themselves. So It takes a little bit of work sometimes to fit the populations into an area. We're also not supposed to, if possible, split towns that are smaller in population than that average number. So if a town is under 8,000, we try as much as we can not to split them, but that's not always possible. Where we're at right now, we normally start that work at this time of year, but because we're delayed, we're going to have to wait until September just to start looking at the numbers. That probably will delay when we can actually get a redistricting process complete. And it looks like, so normally we would probably be ready for the 2022 or 2021, I should say, 2022 election, but we may not be able to do that. We don't think we can. And that's partly because of changes to when things start rolling in the Board of Elections. The time frame for doing the ballot for the legislative people running for office is March 2nd, I think. So we have to get the petitions, I guess they're called, in and started at that time. So we need to get redistricting done before that date. So we expect that we'll be mainly working on this in 2022. And that would mean that the elections that we would first affect probably be 2023. If that makes sense. That's pretty much all I have, except for answering questions that you might have.
Thank you.
Would you like to talk about the committee you're going to form?
The what?
Committee you're going to form as part of this process?
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Glenn. Before I do that, though, we just asked Glenn to give you a very brief outline. As you heard Glenn say, we've got time to work on this, and we shall. But before I go forward, does anybody have any questions of Glenn while we have it here?
Go ahead, John.
Are there any dramatic changes that you see happening?
So what has happened, it looks like, we don't know because we don't have the 2020 census data, but they've given us estimates. And those are based on a different method. And what those show is most of our towns have gone down in population, as well as the county in general. We do see a larger number of people left, like the town of Champlain and Chazy, than we would have expected, which we probably attribute to Pfizer closing down and that happening. But it's not a huge number. We're talking at the whole county, it's like 1,400 less people are expected to be in the county now. So we were at 82,000. So we're probably somewhere around 80,000. And that includes the inmate population in that number. So that number has also gone down since 2010.
Anything else? Okay, well, going forward, obviously we will form a committee to work with Glenn on this. It will be, the committee obviously will be represented equally by Republicans and Democrats, and we shall talk about that in the future. So we have a brief outline from Glenn. We will be moving forward. As I say, we'll form a committee to work on these issues, and we'll go from there. Anything else before we move on?
Thank you,
Calvin.
Well, just to point out that our next regularly scheduled legislature meetings won't be the 2023 anyway. So unless we have a special election in 2022, there's no rush.
Exactly. No, that's exactly right. Yes, sir. You're correct. Anything else?
There's no rush, but the other municipalities do work off of the county district. So others can't change until we change. Is that accurate, Glenn?
The main thing that ends up happening is the election district boundaries. If we have to split, if say the city is trying to redo the wards, they may have to split an election district, and it's better if we have our boundaries first so that they can work off those, try to not cross and have a small area that's like in one legislative district but a different ward. So it's hopeful that we don't have too much of that happen.
Okay, anything else? All right, thank you, Glenn, very much. As always, we'll now go to the committee reports. Each legislator chairs one of the 10 standing committees. I will call on the chairperson of each committee in alphabetical order by committee, starting with Buildings and Grounds and Legislator Timmons.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the Buildings and Grounds Committee met Monday, April 12th. Jim Cleveland, the Superintendent of Buildings and Grounds, was present to discuss and review the request for qualifications for current and future master plan projects. Resolution 181 has been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendations. The next Buildings and Grounds Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, May 10th at 4:30 p.m. End of report.
Thank you. Children and Family Services, Legislator Potiker. Now mute.
Can you come back to me? I can't seem to locate my report, and I will.
Sure, that's okay, Ray.
Chairman Potiker, I can read it on your behalf if you'd like me to.
That would be great. Thank you very much.
So, on behalf of Legislator Potiker, the Children and Family Services Committee met on Tuesday, April 6th. John Redden, the Commissioner of Social Services, discussed the statistics in his department for February 2021. Resolutions 182 through 186 have been placed on tonight's agenda as a result of the committee's recommendation, and the next Children and Family Services Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, May 4th at 5:15 p.m. End of report.
Thank you, Legislator Potiker and Mr. Earl.
Thank you, Mr. Zerl.
Economic Development and County Operations, Legislator Waldron.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the Economic Development and County Operations Committee scheduled for Tuesday, April 13th was canceled. The committee was polled on resolutions 187 through 190, which have been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendations. As everyone is aware, Renee McFarland will be leaving us soon. Renee's backfill resolution is on tonight's agenda under Wade Rule number 13 or 13.2 as resolution number 250. The next Economic Development and County Operations meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, May 12th at 4 p.m. End of report.
Thank you, ma'am. Finance with Legislator Timmons again.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the Finance Committee met on Wednesday, April 7th. Kimberly Davis, the County Treasurer, and Rebecca Murphy, the Deputy County Treasurer, were present to discuss compassion care revenue, sales tax, the correction of errors report, and in-rem foreclosure. Resolutions 191 through 193 have been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendations. The next Finance Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, May 5th at 5:15 p.m. End of report.
Thank you. Health, Legislator Hughes.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. The Health Committee met on Tuesday, April 6th. Rochelle Gregory, the Director of Community Services, was present to discuss the authorizing contract with Glenn Schroyer, MD, resolution. John Canoza, the Director of Public Health, was also present to discuss the Director's report, January and February 2021, and the Health Department report of March 2021. Resolutions 194 through 197 have been placed on the agenda upon the recommendation of the committee. Mr. Canoza and Eric Day, the Director of Emergency Services, are present to provide a brief update on COVID-19 cases and vaccinations.
Okay, John and Eric. John, you going first?
Sure. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Legislator Hughes. I can give you case updates and then some information on vaccinations, which are proceeding very well. As far as case updates go, we are markedly improved from 2 to 4 weeks ago. We have been seeing 3 straight days, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, of 10 or 11 cases per day. On Tuesday night, we did have a total of 23 new cases that we identified. So we're still hovering in that teens to 20 mark, but that is sure much improved as compared to a few months ago, where we were in the 60s, 80s, and 90s new cases per day. We have 110 active cases in isolation right now. We did have on Saturday an additional new death of a senior citizen at CVPH that was reported to us again on Saturday. And we are right now, total tests for Clinton County residents are approaching 180,000. So we are doing very well with testing. A good sizable part of that is because of SUNY testing all of their students and staff every week. Other news that needs to be correlated with this is that currently SUNY Plattsburgh has only 9 students and staff in isolation right now. 2 of them are workers from SUNY Plattsburgh. And they also have 9 staff and students in mandatory quarantine. That's a big change, reduction from only a week and a half ago, where they were up in the 50s in terms of isolated individuals and 60s for mandatory quarantine. Most of these individuals in isolation or mandatory quarantine are off-campus students. So it's a challenge that we have, and we do our best to work with them on that. So CVPH currently only has 6 COVID positive patients that were just released from isolation, though they still remain in the hospital due to COVID related illnesses. So that also is a big improvement from a month ago when CVPH had 2021 positive cases in house. Also, Clinton Correctional only has 1 COVID positive inmate at this time who is asymptomatic. So these are all numbers that correlate with each other to tell us all that we have an improving situation in case numbers. We hope it stays that way. Be mindful that we have all of our students coming back from spring break this week. And a lot of the classrooms, or I should say the schools, have started full in-class education. So that's going to change things a little bit. We hope it just stays a little lean for us with not too many positive school-related cases. On the vaccination side of things, yesterday, Tuesday, we did a small pod at Adirondack Farms. There are 2 facilities, one here in Plattsburgh, one in Peru. We're trying very hard to get out to meet the need of those who could be underserved. We today did a small pod clinic up at St. Edmund's Church in Ellenburg. And Thursday we have our typical Clinton College gymnasium pod, probably looking at 200 doses at that one, and then 300 second doses at the Clinton Community College gym on Friday. Next week, we're heading off to the Saranac Fire Department in our effort to try to outreach into our rural communities, with then following up with a standard first dose pod and a second dose pod at Clinton Community College gym on Thursday and Friday, respectively. Upcoming in the future, we're looking at small pods at the Keysville Fire Department, Holy Angels Church in Alpona. We're also looking at the Plattsburgh Housing Authority, the Ted Case Center. That would be an optimum location to have a small to medium-sized pod for some of our residents that live there in that neck of the woods. And we're also looking at doing evening clinics. We've heard a lot from the public. They'd like to see off hours. We have vaccinations available during off hours. That includes weekends, maybe a Saturday. So we're looking at that right now. So that's it in the COVID world of isolation and quarantine cases and vaccination clinics. We're busy.
Thank you, thank you.
John, what J&J did we have on order, and how are we addressing what we had to pause?
As always, thank you, Michael, very much. Yeah, we had to pause. We had 100 doses of J&J that we were just about, I mean, it was almost in our hands, ready to give to HCR to vaccinate a sizable portion of our homebound population. But as you know, the brakes were hit on that. So we still have 100 doses of J&J ready to go right now. So we have at least HCR, Home Care of Rochester, has approximately 250 homebound clients that they can serve with this vaccination. So that's what we're waiting on that. Hopefully it'll only be a few more days, maybe a week, who knows.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for John? Mr. Day?
The only thing that I would add related to COVID specifically is on the vaccination front. The New York State site continues to operate at the Plattsburgh International Airport. They on a daily basis have 1,000 appointments available. Currently, anyway, for the last couple of weeks, 500 first doses and then 500 second doses to catch people that got their first dose 3 weeks ago. Of the 1,000 a day, they for the last week and a half, 2 weeks, have really only hit about the 700 mark, 750. So people aren't, there's available appointments at that site. And, folks are able to go there. Are we good? What do we know about the time out for just a second? About second dose from traveling?
Second dose from traveling. Finally, the state opened up to approve that if you need your second dose separate from the facility where you got your first dose, New York State vaccination sites should be allowed. They should be given the approval any day now to give that second dose. That was a big problem for a lot of our snowbirds calling in. One of them, our old buddy Jay LePage, he called me a few weeks ago, and I was joking with him over the phone, trying to help him out. Geez, Jay, I don't know what the hell to do. It was funny. It was good. I was just trying to help him out. But he was going to try to make it here to get his second dose, and I wished him luck. So, good old Jay. So.
Hey, anything else?
I should also point out to you that we're working with schools right now, very important, on proms and graduations. A lot of work is going into this. The schools are getting ready to do Abbott, Binex, now testing at proms, and also require, if you come to graduation, you either got to have proof of a negative test or have proof of vaccination. So that's where the schools are going now. So we're working hard with them.
Okay, thank you. Legislator Hughes, to finish up?
The next Health Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, May 4th at 4:30 p.m. End of report. Thanks, sir.
Thank you very much. And thank you, John, and thank you, Eric. Human Services, Legislator Preye. You're muted.
I know it.
There you
Thank
go.
you, Mr. Chairman. Human Services Committee met on Wednesday, April 7th. Wendy Bishop, the nursing home administrator, was present to discuss an emergency repair of kitchen drain and discussed an issue regarding personnel in executive session. And I'm going to add that I talked to Jim Cleveland an hour ago, and if everything goes well with their last section of drain, they should be cementing Friday, if everything goes well. So he wanted me to pass that along. Steve Bowman, the Veteran Service Agency Director, discussed monthly statistics for March 2021, the Feeding Veterans Program, and a request for information 2056 if you need any information on it, establishing New York State's first state-owned veteran cemetery. The next Human Services Committee meeting was tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, May 5th at 4:15 p.m. End of report.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yep.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Simon.
I just wanted to give a shout out to Steve Bowman. He's been working for, I don't know, like maybe a decade on that.
No, 15 years.
Yeah, 15 years. So I mean, I came on 5 years ago and he was deep in it, and now he's actually getting somewhere. And the site is out on Cumberland Head. It's where it's kind of near the old streets where people would pull over along the side of the road on the way to the ferry. Anyway, it's a great site.
Thank you. Anything else? All right, personnel. I will do personnel. The Personnel Committee met on Monday, April 5th. Kim Kinbaum, the Personnel Director, discussed creating standard one-year time limit for personnel requests, and resolutions 201 through 219 have been placed on the agenda upon the recommendations of the Personnel Committee. The next Personnel Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, May 3rd at 4 p.m. Plattsburgh International Airport, Legislature Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Plattsburgh International Airport Committee has not met since the last regular session. The committee was planning on resolutions 220 and 221, which has been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendation. Also, the runway construction project started on April 13th, and as discussed previously, the runway will remain closed until June 22nd. Airline operations are scheduled to resume on June 23rd. Plans are being finalized for the rapid testing site to be located at the airport terminal as part of the Year Forward Rapid Testing Program. More information will be coming forth on this once we know more. Airport staff continue to support New York State vaccination site located at 213 Connecticut Road, and as of this today, approximately 80,000 people have been vaccinated on that site, which is all good news. I will be going out to the airport on the 27th in the morning to look at the runway progress and see how it's going. And if any of the airport committee or anyone else on the airport, the legislature, would like to go with me sometime next week, get a hold of me, and I'll tell you exactly what time. Time hasn't been determined yet, but next to it'll be the 27th, or Tuesday morning, before our regular meeting on the 27th. And I'll be good.
All right,
Chairman, John Canoza, if you can still hear us, as Mr. Hall just reported, in your discussions with OCs in school districts, the rapid testing center, which will be in the lobby of the Plattsburgh International Airport, may be a tool that you can convey to the school districts as there's going to be a mad scramble to get rapid tests done.
Yeah. Well, that happened fast, Mike. Thanks for letting me know. I'll push that to the schools too. I've also been pushing the CVPH New York State testing site because they're getting 24-hour turnaround now on their standard test, which is pretty damn good. So I will push the airport rapid testing. And who's running that, Mike?
I believe that's actually BioReference themselves running that.
Thank you, Mike.
okay.
That is right, Mike.
Thanks, Bob. I'll be giving you a call on that too. I think I want to go out for that, so I'll get with you.
Okay.
Public Safety, Legislator Castine.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Hometown Cable might be interested in going on that tour too, so I may be calling you, Bob. Public Safety Committee met on...
Calvin.
Pardon?
They can go, Calvin, but you can't.
Okay. I'm not going to do my report then. Public Safety Committee met on Monday, April 5th. Jamie Rock, the Administrative Assistant at the Child Care Advocacy Center, Eric Day, the Director of Emergency Services, Jamie Martineau, the Public Defender, and Major Nick Leone from the Sheriff's Department were present to discuss the respective resolutions. Resolutions number 222 through 238 and resolutions 248 and 249 under Waive Rule 13.2 have been placed on the agenda upon the recommendations of the committee. The next Public Safety Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, May 3rd at 5 p.m. End of report.
I'll be right with you. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, next, the Transportation Committee, Legislator Crester, the pride of Area 9.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Transportation Committee met on Monday, April 12th. Glenn Cutter, the Planning Director, and Shannon Thayer, the Planning Technician, were present to discuss the elimination of student bus passes, also the 2020 annual report, and the Clinton County Public Transportation Hazardous Pay Bonus. Carl Weiss, the Highway Superintendent, was present to discuss 2021 CHIPS allocations, equipment financing, and several bridge projects. Resolutions 239 through 244 have been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendations. And the next Transportation Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, May 10th at 5:15 p.m. And that's the end of the report.
Thank you very much.
So, Chairman Kretzer, as was reported at your committee, that the CHIPS allocation in the 2021 state budget, I believe it was reported to the committee that would result in approximately additional $1.1 million in CHIPS money increase over what was received in 2020. So very positive news there.
Absolutely. Thank you for that.
Okay. All right. Liaison reports. Chamber of Commerce, Legislator Potiker.
I will be meeting with the chamber between now and the next regular session, and we'll provide a report at that session.
Thank you. Cooperative Extension, Legislator Timmons.
No April meeting, no report.
Thank you. No report for discipline review or grievance. Inter-County, Legislator Waldron.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we met, Herkimer County hosted our meeting on March 25th. Basically, NISAC gave a very lengthy budget update, and now we all know the outcome of the budget, but that was the majority of our conversation. Our next meeting will be at the end of April. End of report.
Thank you. LC and LG Regional Planning Board, Legislator Hughes.
We met yesterday, and our next, we just covered a bunch of different board issues, and our next meeting is tentatively scheduled for July. She didn't mention the date, but it's going to be in July.
Okay, thank you. And this evening we have a resolution that we'll be acting on to also appoint Legislator Crester to LC and LG tonight. So thank you for that. Anything to add? Okay. Soil and Water, Legislator Perrier and North Davis.
We'll have a meeting tomorrow, 1 o'clock.
Sure, okay. And Workforce Development Board, Legislator Crester.
I do not currently have a report. I'll have one for our next meeting.
Great, sir. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Staff members. Mr. Zerlo, any report?
Yeah, I got a few things. I'd like to report that, as you can see from the first item on tonight's agenda, that CSEA did in fact vote to ratify the negotiated contract that we have previously discussed with you on a few occasions. So you will have in front of you Resolution 180 seeking your approval of that negotiated document. Secondly, Kim has put all the paperwork together to submit to the Department of Labor for the 2019 Shared Services Plan. If you recall, we did actually receive 2018's money, and we also submitted a plan for 2019, and the backup is now in place, and we've submitted that to the state for reimbursement. We continue to meet with municipalities. I believe when's the next meeting's in May for the 2021 Shared Services Panel. And finally, Mr. Chairman, I am going to ask for an executive session this evening to discuss personnel histories of a number of employees.
Okay. Thank you.
We're good.
Ms. Keller?
I do not have any report tonight.
Okay, thank you.
So, Mark, Simon.
Oh, I'm sorry, son.
Oh, I asked, see if Mike put together a list of all of the liaison meetings so that people would know the time and place for liaison meetings. For instance, if someone wants to do a chamber meeting or we call it, whatever it is, we can get a list of that.
Okay, we can put that together, can't we, Mike? Yeah, we'll do that. We'll get it out there. Thank you. So, nothing, Mike, nothing, Dr. Chair. We've got quite a few resolutions, so we'll go right to them. Before voting on the resolutions, a majority of these resolutions have been thoroughly discussed by the appropriate committees, and the legislature is taking action tonight based in large part on the recommendation of those committees. Mr. Zerlo, will you please read the title of the resolutions to be acted upon?
Certainly. Resolution 180, authorizing the chairperson to execute an agreement by and between the County of Clinton and CSCA Local 1000, AFSCME, AFL-CIO, Clinton County Unit for 50, and 600, Local 884, personnel.
Excellent. Can we, like get 5-5 on this? Mr. Perrier, Ms. Waldron, 5-5?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. Francis, you're okay with that?
I'm great with it.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. So 5-5, any discussion? Favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carried. I'd like to thank everybody, including the employees, Jackie, the team that negotiated this. You did an excellent job. I think it's a great result for all parties, and so thanks to all that have done this. Thank you.
Resolution 181, authorizing the purchasing agent to solicit bids for 2021 master plan capital improvement projects, buildings and grounds.
Motion, Mr. Timmons. Second, Legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 182, authorizing payment of membership dues, Youth Bureau.
Motion, Legislator Potiker. Second, Legislator Kretzer. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron? Bless you.
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 183, authorizing application and acceptance of Stewart's Holiday Match Grant, Youth Bureau.
Motion, Legislator Potiker. Second, Legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 184, authorizing contract extension with Behavioral Health Services North Social Services.
Motion, Legislator Potiker. Second, Legislator Waldron. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Resolution 185, authorizing contract with Carlin Media Social Services.
Motion, Legislator Potiker. Second, Legislator Kretzer. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Great.
Resolution 186, authorizing payment of membership dues, employment and training.
Motion, Legislator Potiker. Second, Legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 187, authorizing the Center for Tech and Civic Life Grant Extension Board of Elections.
Motion, Legislator Waldron. Second, Legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 188, authorizing grant extension with New York State Department of State Planning.
Motion, Legislator Waldron. Second, Legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 189, authorizing contract amendment with the Village of Tupper Lake Planning.
Motion, Legislator Waldron. second, legislator Boddicker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Resolution 190, authorizing application and acceptance of New York State Community Development Block Grant CARES Act planning.
Motion, legislator Waldron. Second, legislator Timmons. Discussion.
Ms. Waldron, just for the record, we do not have a current project that's $1 million that's eligible for this funding, but I believe under your direction, we want the allowance is up to 1 million, so we are asking for 1 million.
Well, and I've also coordinated with Rochelle Gregory and John Canoza, and they're going to coordinate with Glenn Cutter because some of this would apply to their departments, and they could form one grant.
Okay, thank you, Patty. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Resolution 191, authorizing contract with Barton & LaJudas DPC for preparation of biennial update to the local solid waste management plan. Legislature.
Motion, legislator Timmons. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 192, authorizing contract amendment with Casella Waste Management of New York, purchasing.
Motion, legislator Timmons. Second, legislator Conroy. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Resolution 193, authorizing the county treasurer to establish capital project titled 2021 Master Plan Improvement Project Buildings and Grounds.
Motion, legislator Timmons. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Great.
Resolution 194, authorizing contract with Glenn Schroyer, MD, Mental Health and Addiction.
Motion, legislator Hughes. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion.
I just want to point out, I didn't do this committee, so I may butcher this, but this is taking place, this contract is not a new expense to the department. It is a substituted expense for some, I believe the NPP, nurse practitioner of psychiatry, who is leaving. So this fills that gap. It is not a new expenditure.
Okay, thank you. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Resolution 195, authorizing contract with Southern Adirondack Child Care Network Health Departments.
Motion, legislator Hughes. Second, legislator Kretzer. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Resolution 196, authorizing contract with Child Care Coordinating Council of the North Country Health Department.
Motion, legislator Hughes. Second, legislator Waldron. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Resolution 197, authorizing contract with CVPH Medical Center Health Department.
Motion, legislator Hughes. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Resolution 198, authorizing payment of membership dues for the year 2021 nursing home.
Motion, legislator Perrier. Second, legislator Conroy. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Resolution 199, authorizing contract with Leading Age New York ProCare Nursing Home.
Motion, legislator Perrier. Second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Great.
Resolution 200, authorizing contract with Dragoons Farm Equipment Nursing Home.
Motion, legislator Perrier. Second, legislator Kretzer. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walters?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 201, approving backfill of permanent full-time Director of Real Property Tax Services position. Real property.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 202, approving backfill of permanent full-time Election Commissioner Republican position. Board of Elections.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Timmons. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 203, approving backfill of permanent full-time account clerk typist position, mental health and addiction.
Motion, legislator Timmons. Second, legislator Waldron. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 204, approving backfill of permanent full-time account clerk typist position, mental health and addiction.
Motion, legislator Waldron. Second, legislator Henry. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 205, approving backfill of permanent part-time account clerk typist position, mental health and addiction.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 206, approving step increase for backfill of permanent full-time Deputy Director of Community Services position, mental health and addiction.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Timmons. Discussion.
I just want to make it clear, so this is, the committee decided that this to increase the step, but to a step 5, which was lower than the requested step by the department head.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 207, approving temporary on-call payment for environmental health staff for rabies emergencies. Health Department.
Motion, legislator Timmons. Second, legislator Waldron. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 208, approving backfill of permanent full-time quality coordinator position, Health Department.
Motion, legislator Waldron. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 209, approving backfill of permanent full-time computer coordinator position, Social Services.
Motion, legislator Waldron. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 210, approving backfill of permanent full-time social welfare examiner, Social Services.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Timmons. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 211, approving backfill of temporary full-time summer youth counselor position, Social Services.
Motion, legislator Timmons. Second, legislator Waldron. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 212, approving backfill of permanent full-time staff nurse position, nursing home.
Motion, legislator Waldron. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 213, approving backfill of permanent full-time motor equipment operator 1, Highway Department.
Motion, legislator Timmons. Second, legislator Waldron. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 214, approving backfill of permanent full-time motor equipment operator 2, Highway Department.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 215, approving backfill of permanent full-time motor equipment operator 1 highway.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Timmons. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 216, approving backfill of permanent full-time emergency communication dispatcher position, emergency services.
Motion, legislator Timmons. Second, legislator Waldron. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 217, backfill of permanent part-time emergency communications dispatcher, emergency services.
Motion, legislator Timmons. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion.
I didn't hear any votes, Chair.
Hear any votes?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 218, approving backfill of permanent part-time emergency communications dispatcher, emergency services.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Waldron. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 219, approving creation of a one-year time limit for personnel requests, personnel department.
Motion, legislator Timmons. Second, legislator Henry. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman.
Certainly allowed for.
I blame you.
Someone's unmuted and there's feedback that I think is affecting probably the recording and listening.
Okay, thank you. Resolution 220, authorizing lease agreement with the New York State Office of General Services, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Hughes. Discussion?
Yeah, very briefly, I just want to thank Mr. Day at OES, who I charged with negotiating with the Office of General Services,
Yes, you
which resulted in this agreement. He worked closely with Craig at the airport, so this is positive. I will say, in addition to this, I have been successful, I believe, in negotiating with New York State Department of Health to get reimbursed for some overtime payments that were not included in the agreement that you're voting on on Resolution 220. So that should be forthcoming at our next meeting.
Very good, thank you. Anything more on that? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier? Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 221, authorizing out-of-state travel, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Perrier. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Resolution 222, authorizing high-visibility road check saturation patrols, DRE call-out during impaired driving crackdowns grant application and acceptance. Stop DWI.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 223, authorizing child passenger safety program grant application and acceptance, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Potiker. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 224, authorizing the community-based traffic safety program grant application and acceptance, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Waldron. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 225, authorizing police traffic services grant application and acceptance, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 226, authorizing Operation Stone Garden grant application and acceptance, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Resolution 227, authorizing the purchasing agent to solicit bids for semi-rigid inflatable boat and trailer, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Perrier. Discussion.
Just in case anybody's inquiring that's not on personnel, this piece of equipment, Mr. Castine, legislator Castine, is covered with previous Stone Garden money, so it is not county levied dollars.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carried. Resolution 228, authorizing Chapel Hill Foundation Incorporated grant application and acceptance, District Attorney Child Advocacy Center.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Waldron?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 229, authorizing Autism Alliance of Northeastern New York Incorporated grant application and acceptance, District Attorney Child Advocacy Center.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 230, authorizing Operation Lighter, Quicker, Cheaper grant application acceptance, District Attorney's Office Child Advocacy Center.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Resolution 231, authorizing the purchasing agent to solicit requests for proposals for generator maintenance, emergency services.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Waldron. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 232, authorizing contract with Twin State Technologies, emergency services.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 233, authorizing ongoing contract with Global Star Emergency Services.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 234, amending resolution number 207 dated March 11th, 2020, titled Authorizing Contract Extension with C3 Pathways Emergency Services.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 235, authorizing contract with Intrado Life and Safety Solutions Corporation for Text 2911 services, emergency services.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Potiker. Discussion.
Is Eric Day, are you still on the line?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Is that expense covered by a grant?
That expense, which includes the initial installation and provision of the service, as well as the following 4 years of expense, is covered by the 911 surcharge. So it's not a grant, but it is not reliant on the tax levy.
Thank you.
Anything further? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 236, amending resolution number 12, dated January 13, 2021, titled Authorizing Contract with Secure Shred, Public Defender's Office.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Waldron. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Great. Resolution 237, authorizing payment of membership dues, Public Defender's Office.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 238, authorizing contract with the New York State Defenders Association, Public Defender's Office.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Resolution 239, authorizing contract with Complete Property Management, Clinton County Public Transit.
Motion, legislator Kretzer. Second, legislator Conroy. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 240, amending Resolution 297 dated April 10, 2019, titled Authorizing Shared Services Agreement with New York State Department of Transportation, Highway Department.
Motion, legislator Kretzer. Second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Resolution 241, authorizing contract with Barton & LaJudas DPC, Highway.
Motion, legislator Kretzer. Second, legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Resolution 242, authorizing the purchasing agent to solicit bids for a remanufactured hot mix asphalt paver, Highway.
Motion, legislator Kretzer. Second, legislator Conroy. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 243, authorizing application to the Preserve New York grant program administered by the New York State Council on the Arts and Preservation League of New York State, Highway.
Motion, legislator Kretzer. Second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 244, authorizing application to the State Economic and Infrastructure Development Investment Program administered by the Northern Border Regional Commission, Highway.
Motion, legislator Kretzer. Second, legislator Potiker. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 245, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Economic Development Budget, Legislature.
Motion, legislator Timmons. Second, legislator Waldron. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Resolution 246, authorizing the county treasurer to reappropriate 2020 funds for various accounts, Treasurer's Office.
Motion, legislator Timmons. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Resolution 247, approving appointment to the Lake Champlain, Lake George Regional Planning Board, Legislature.
Motion, legislator Timmons. Second, legislator Waldron. Discussion. All in favor?
I just want to say under discussion that it pays about $60,000 a year, so this is a very good appointment.
It is good. All in favor?
Mr. Perrier?
Aye.
Michael, you got something?
For the listening public, that was a joke.
Is that for all the members?
That's the new one.
The new one.
Just
It just
the new one.
started.
Okay.
Grandfather. All in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Carried. We have two or three. I'd like to get a motion to waive Rule 13.2. May I have a motion? Motion by legislator Conroy, second by legislator Hughes. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Yay, 13.2.
Resolution authorizing contract with New York State Defenders Association, assigned counsel.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Potiker. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Resolution 249, amending Resolution 613 dated October 14, 2020, titled Authorizing Various Contracts of the Year 2021 Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Waldron. Discussion?
I just want to point out there was some email traffic on this. Although it looks like it is a considerable increase in this contract price, this service was being provided by a different vendor, and there, so this reflects current costs just with a different vendor.
Okay, thank you. Anything further? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 250, approving backfill of a permanent full-time economic development director, legislature.
Motion. Hold on. I have a motion by legislator Conroy. Second, may I have a second? Second by legislator Timmons. Discussion.
I just wanted to remind everybody that this is the position that we, goes back to Melissa McManus. When we looked for people for this position, we considered a lot of amazing people, and Renee got the job, and she's been incredible. She's been here for long enough now to be effective, and also for us to see, her job position was paid for through the IDA, and she did a lot with the IDA, also learning how to do it as she went as the head of the chair of the IDA. And she also did a lot in our office here at the legislative office on the economic development side. And the IDA paid her salary, and my hope is that in the future, eventually, the person in that position will be able to do more economic development work in the legislative office, or we find funding to have a second person. Maybe we can hear from Renee on that before she leaves, and she can talk to us about how her experience has been in that position.
Thank you. Anything else? Roll call.
I believe that's all in favor, Chairman.
Don't we have the watershed?
No, 250. We need to vote on 250.
I'm sorry?
We need to vote on 250. That's one we need to vote on. That's one. That's yeah. That's next. That's next. So we just.
Okay, we haven't got that. Okay, thank you. All right. I'm looking at the wrong one. We'll go back on that one for the resolution 250. That should be all in favor.
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
In Resolution 251, authorizing Clinton County participation in the State Septic System Replacement Fund for the Islamont Watershed Grant Acceptance Health Department.
Motion, legislator Hughes. Second, legislator Waldron. Discussion.
Yeah, very briefly, and certainly Mr. Canosa, Director Canosa, you can chime in as well, but this was a very late item. We received notice from New York State that we were awarded $250,000 to improve septic systems from the corridor ranging from Rouse's Point to Cumberland Head.
Right.
And the ability to sign, we needed to accept this grant by April 20. So that's why it's a very quick turnaround. I can let John speak to the efficacy of this grant.
Thank you, Mike. Yes, very quickly, this is will be our second annual opportunity for this grant. We previously had it in 2018 where the state granted us $75,000. And we used it to replace 11 septic systems in Clinton County, specifically near Lake Chateauguay, on Lake Chateauguay, and also a few on Lake Champlain. This one also opens up the corridor from Rouse's Point to Cumberland Head so that all those property owners that may have an old and or failing septic system can apply for this grant. Clinton County Health Department, Environmental Health and Safety, Ryan Davies is basically the person to review the applications, approve the applications and the design, and pay the contractor upon successful appropriate completion of the replacement septic system. It's a good opportunity for Clinton County.
So, John, my understanding is that the homeowner has to pay 50% of the cost up to $10,000.
Up to $10,000, yes, yes.
So the homeowner still has skin in the game.
Yeah, they do have some skin in the game, of course, yes. But again, these are for lakefront properties, and we're concerned with protecting the quality of our Lake Champlain, very much so, as you know.
Okay, thank you, Legislator Conrad. And when does the work have to be completed if someone gets one of the grants?
By 2026. They were very generous.
Yeah, very good. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, that's great. Anything else? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried. I believe that does it for the resolutions, correct?
Correct, sir.
Anything, does anyone have anything further to come before the legislature? Okay, I'd like to entertain a motion to enter into the executive session.
I'll move.
I have a motion by Legislator Perrier, a second by Legislator Castine. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We will enter into executive session to discuss a matter of collective negotiations. Thank you.
Can you shut those hands off?
Okay? If there's nothing further to discuss, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. I have a motion by Legislator Potiker, a second by Legislator Perrier. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody.
Good night.
Aye.